tell about a heaven in Alberta, where they've got all hell for a basement. Yeah, I lost my way, but I can't tell about a heaven in Alberta, where they've got all hell for a basement.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hi. Frankie here. New West Reset. Hello. How's it going? Welcome back. And thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another one, another live stream. New West Reset live episode 90. 90. Is that right? That can't be right. It doesn't seem believable. Episode 90. Here today. What's the deal with Parma, Ohio? I don't know. We're gonna find out. We'll get into it. But before that, welcome. Thanks for joining me here. And where are we at? Well, it's Sunday, November the 3rd, 2024. Just a wee bit past 5 p.m. local time. That's mountain time, don't you know? And as always, we're coming at you live from Calgary, up in Canada land up here, eh? And yeah, Calgary's right there in southern Alberta, purty Alberta. And yeah, she was a purty day today. I tell you what, still not bad as the sun is starting to set. I think it went up to 8 degrees Celsius, which sounds terrible to all my American friends. 8, yeah, 8 Celsius. So close to 50-ish Fahrenheit, like mid to high 40s Fahrenheit. So, you know, not bad for a early November day here, this close to the Canadian Rockies up in Canada land. Beautiful blue skies. A guy had to go out today. I was dreading it. I actually procrastinated for about 2 weeks on this, to the point where I'm like, damn it, I just got to do it. I had to go up to the mall because I had to get some new work shoes, work pants, and then my winter parka, down-filled parka, speaking of, you know, November and cold weather coming. My old down-filled parka has seen better days. Pretty old. So it wasn't as, you know, lofty. You know, the feathers inside weren't as lofty. Is that a thing? Anyways, as they should be. So it wasn't providing as much insulation. And when it's minus 40 with wind chill, Celsius, Fahrenheit, at that point doesn't matter. It's the same. You want a good coat. You want a good parka. You know, a 3/4 length down-filled coat with a hood. So I'm like, damn it, I got to go out to the dang mall and get this stuff. So, all right. Quick, fast, in a hurry. I hop on the train. It's only a couple of stops. It's not even 10 minutes on the train. I'm there. You get off the train, you cross the parking lot, boom, you're in the mall. And it's the mall in my community isn't the biggest or the best, but I wasn't going to be going downtown today. No siree, bub. So I opted for my community mall, which is small. Yeah, there's like a couple of dozen stores in there, and 4 of them are cell phone kiosks. But anyway, it's got the Walmarts, right, which I dread, and I rarely go in. But it's got this other chain of stores that's a Canadian company called Marks. Used to be Marks Work Warehouse, but they don't just sell workwear anymore. They kind of sell casual wear and that as well now. And it's got a Sport Check, which is, a athletic goods store. A guy needs to get some tennis shoes or a pair of skis or I don't know, something like that. You could go there, right? So I figured, all right, bases covered. So let me get it over with. I'll go into the Walmarts first. Oh, yeesh. Yeesh. Oh, have mercy. Have mercy. As if I needed reminding why I rarely go into the Walmarts. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I don't know what in the Sam Steel's going on with them people, but wow-wee. And I couldn't get in and out of there quickly because the specific items I was looking for were still being stocked. And the girl putting them out where it was running back and forth, bringing out bundles of sizes. And I'm not a big guy, so my size is an odd size, and they don't get a lot of them. So she had to, bless her, she was digging through the boxes, I guess, or whatever, back there for this new shipment of winter coats that came in. It was in the online flyer. So if, a fella figured, hop on the train and get up there and get it out of the way before it is minus 40. And everybody buys them all up, and then it's too late. You see what I'm saying? Put your winter tires on your car in October, not in January. You get me? Anyway, I grabbed the parka. I need to wear a size small, a men's small. Because everything is just made to fit too big anyways, because everybody's getting fat. And I'm not fat. I'm fit. I work out and I walk everywhere. So, I'm 5'8" and I weigh maybe $140, 140 pounds, right? Whatever that is in kilos or stone, I don't know. The scale tells me what it tells me. Anyway, so I need a men's size small. And out of 27 of these coats in that color that I liked, they get 2 size smalls, right? So I buy one. All right. One is off the list. And it's getting busy in there, right? And I mean, it was busy as soon as I walked in the door. See, I'll tell you what, my frame of mind was we just had the daylight saving time thing here, right? I think a lot of us now are participating, whether we like it or not, in this idiotic daylight saving time thing. So I figured everybody would be, dragging their keisters, because it's spring ahead and fall back, right? So you got to set your clocks back an hour. So a lot of people, they figure they're losing on an hour maybe by a time. If you get what I'm saying. So I figured, all right, if I'm up and at 'em like I usually am, I can just run in there and beat the crowds or whatever. I don't know. Nope, didn't happen. Didn't happen at all. The place was lousy with all of these mouth breathers. Oh, dear Lord. Help me. But I thought I had the plan, right? I looked it up and I'm like, okay, they open in such and such a time. Everybody's going to be late to rise. So I'll already be there when everybody's just rolling out of bed. I can get in and out of there. No. Nope. Not going to happen. Because this whole daylight savings thing is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. I love this meme. When told the reason for daylight saving time, the old Indians said only the government would believe that you could cut a foot off the top of a blanket, sew it to the bottom, and have a longer blanket. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, thank you for joining me here. Sunday, November the 3rd, 2024. Thanks for winding down your weekend here with yours truly. After the day I had picking up a new parka and work boots and work pants and whatnot, Wow, I'm ever glad to spend the time with you good people on this Sunday fun day. So let me know how you're doing. How's your day going? Your evening, your night, your early morning. Once again, thanks for shooting in and joining me here. Say to everybody, hello to everybody in the chat, in the box. See how we're doing? Wiley's here. Howdy, Wiley. Good to see you. Hippie Shake in the box. Hello, hello, Hippie. Kathy Childers is here. Howdy, Kathy. Hey, Cousin Vinny's over here. There he is. Cousin Vinny. Hello, hello, my friend. Speaking of old friends, Old World, Michigan in the box. Good to see you. Hello there. How's she going, eh? Turtle! We got Turtle here. Turtle's here, everybody. Hello, Turtle. It is cheesy in Parma, Ohio. Well, you know, as we like to do, we're going to, we'll have a look at it. And yeah, there's definitely going to be some cheesiness to the narrative for sure. PCS World is here. Hello. How's she going there, eh? Scott Pike, good to see you. How's it going? Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you winding down your weekend here with yours truly. And my sob story. Anyways, what I thought would take me an hour to go to the Walmarts, the Mark's Work Warehouse, maybe poke a guy's head in real quick in the Sport Check store, get some new sneakers, or tennis shoes, or cross trainers, whatever you want to call them, man. So I just told you, I walk a lot, you see. A guy will wear out a pair of shoes right quick up here doing these boots on the ground videos. So I thought it'd be an hour. No, it was like an ordeal of 3 hours. 3 hours. I was in Walmart for almost an hour of those 3 hours. Oh, boy, howdy, let me tell you. My pal Bill is here. William Pals. Well, you know, that's why I went to Walmart and Mark's Work Warehouse was, you know, to save a couple of coppers, you know, save a couple of coinages. Because you could spend $1,000 on a good down-filled winter parka here to keep you warm up in Canada land, right? And out in the prairies, we get the wind on top of the really cold temperatures. And, you know, not to mention the snow. And you know what I'm saying? It's Canada. Close your eyes and picture winter. Boom. Yeah, you got it there, bud. That's how it is there, eh? So, you know. And then winter boots, because I've been wearing my hunting boots as winter boots the last couple of years. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to wear them down. I don't want to wear out the soles on those things. Hunting boots are something I will spend a lot of money on so that I have a good pair to last me a long time. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to risk it. So I wanted to buy a decent pair of winter boots, winter coat, some work shoes or boots, you know, steel toe, safety, non-slip, and some work pants. And oh, man. I did get a nice coat. Got a pretty decent deal on it. 90 Canadian doll hairs for a 3/4 length down-filled winter parka with a hood with the fake fur, or what they call faux fur, which is French for fake, but it sounds fancy. Faux fur hood, right? Yeah, it's rated to -25, so perfect, great. If it's any colder than that, you put another layer on underneath, and off you go. The boots, I got some Sorels, you know, so they were, you know, like $90 also, I think. $100, something like that. So got them on sale. I don't have a hard time finding footwear in my size. I'm a size 9. So I guess I'm just below the common sizes of 10, 11, 12. But I got kind of big feet for a guy my size. So I don't know. I'm usually able to find boots and shoes. So I picked up winter boots, steel-toed anti-slip work boots, and then I bought a pair of shoes, just like sneakers. Actually, they're skate shoes. I buy skate shoes usually or basketball shoes because they get the good ankle support there, eh, for a guy? Because I'm in my 50s and I'm walking around all over God's green earth. Chassis Nix is here. Hello, Chassis. So, a guy's got to do what he's got to do, right? So now I'm good for another 15 or 20 years on the winter parka until this one starts to deteriorate and hardly has any feathers left in it. Then around and around we go again. And the boots, I know, you'll get a good 5 years out of a pair of winter boots. If you're lucky around these here parts. You could stretch that a bit in Calgary because we get them Chinooks, them warm Chinook winds in the winter, right? It comes off the Pacific coast. And by the time it gets here into southwestern Alberta, it's warm, dry wind. So we could go from below zero to above 0 Celsius in a matter of hours. So then you don't even have to wear your winter boots. It could be in the middle of February and the day before was, minus 20 Celsius. Then you wake up the next morning and it's plus 10 Celsius. And you're like, wow, that's a huge swing. And the snow on the sidewalks has melted. So then you can wear your runners, your sneakers, your trainers, basketball shoes, whatever. Yeah, our weather is, I would hate to be a weather forecaster here in southern Alberta. Especially Calgary, because Calgary's kind of in a river valley and it's in kind of a bowl. We're surrounded by higher plains or high hills, foothills. And the city's kind of down under, which would explain all the half buried stuff that's under 4 to 7 feet of mud or dirt around here. But anyway, it's a whole different thing. So by the time I got home, it was like in the afternoon already. And I was like, sheesh, all that for shoes, boots, a coat, and a couple of pairs of work pants. The work pants, that's where I was in and out. Just in, out. See what I'm saying? Walk into Mark's Work Warehouse, go to the Dickies, grab a size 30 waist, 30 leg. Boom, 2 pairs of those in black. Thank you. But you know what? It took so long. Well, I mean, a guy stopped for lunch too. You got to grab a burger or something there, eh? A nice bacon cheeseburger for lunch or something. But anyway, when you're trying to pay for something, right? I got cash in hand. I'm not even using my debit card because again, I'm trying to get in and get out, right? I'm saving on my train ticket because if you get back on the train within 90 minutes, you're good. You can reuse your old ticket in 90 minutes. Yeah, that didn't happen. I had to buy a whole new ticket. But anyway, the longest part of the whole ordeal was paying for stuff. I plunk the stuff down and I'm handing over the cash to the cashier, and they just start asking you, how about this? Do you want that? Have you signed up for the this, that, and the other? And I'm like, please, can a guy just buy some shoes? You see this wad of 20s, this sweaty wad of 20s that I'm waving under your beak. Can you please just take it? Like, why are you grilling me with all this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you need my postal code for? I'm just trying to buy a couple pairs of work pants.
Let me ask you something. How come you asking so many jackassy questions?
You know what I mean? Finally, by the third place where I'm paying, right? And the guy's asking me, all this, and I literally say, can I just buy my shoes, please? Like all this for a pair of skate shoes that were on sale. A pair of DC skates in a size 9. Regular $90 on sale for 40. Can I just give you these two $20 bills? Please. Howdy, SP. Welcome. SP shooting in the box. Good to see you. So, oh man, I'm glad. I'm glad. Cousin Vinny wants to know, hey, he's literally yelling, Hey, oh no, there's no exclamation point, just a question mark. So he's using his inside voice. Hey, are there any Calgary locals here? To which SP is a local, of which I knew, our new friend SP. Speaking of new friends, thank you to all the new faces and names I've been seeing here on the channel. Really, really appreciate you coming by. Thanks to everybody who's already subscribed and shared. Maybe do a guy a favor if you haven't already and do one of these. Just kind of helps to push a fella out into the algorithm. You know, it helps me out a little bit as we make our way to 2,000 subscribers. Hello to everybody on the HooTubes and on the Bumble. You know, that green fighting platform. And apologies to everybody who's also following me on the BitChute. There's been some hanky shenanigans going on with the BitChute lately. The last 3 videos that a guy's uploaded, there's been problems with them. I'm not really sure why, because it does its normal thing. And then you hit, public, and then you hit save, and boop, action has been saved. And then I go back and I double check, and yeah, it's public. People could see it. And then a couple hours later, I check in, see how things are going over there. And it's set in unpublished mode. I'm like, wait a second here. What the Sam Steele's going on? So I go back in, edit, put it back unpublished so public can see it. Boom, hit save. All right, everything's been saved. And then it takes. It's like second or third time's a charm. I don't know. So apologies for that. But anyway, speaking of everything that I just mentioned, links in the description below, for the BitChute and MeWe, the guy's email. You can get a hold of me on all of them shots. Watching here on the HooTubes, and of course, as mentioned, Bumble, links below. My location map, speaking of Cousin Vinny in the box, that's his brainchild, you see. So what you do is you just, let me just show you. Let me just show you what we're going to do here. You just click on the link, and it opens up this goggle machine maps here. And all my icons, well, that's a place that a guy's done some boots on the ground. So you click on that, and it opens up this little sidebar with the link to the video. A little bit of a blurb, the address and whatnot. Then if you hit that, that'll take you right to the video. Anything that's joined together in a yellow line, those are multiple locations in the same video. So again, as a reminder, or again to everyone who's new, every Friday, boots on the ground video. Every Sunday, just like right now, live show. And every Wednesday, vintage footage video. I find old-timey black and white footage, the older the better. Generally speaking, Canadian content, but not always. I set it to music and, put it out there. We can have a look at, take some glimpses into the past and on film and video instead of just looking at dusty old photos necessarily all the time. Hey, you know what else is linked below is a guy's PayPal. So if you're obliged to throw a guy a couple of coppers, thank you very much. Muchly appreciated. As mentioned, links below for everything, as well as everything we're going to cover here with this Parma, Ohio. So I guess let's quit goofing around and get this. Let's get this thing rolling here. Now, how this whole thing started with this Parma, Ohio, because it's like, why Parma, Ohio, right? How did that come under Frankie's radar? How did that just slide under a guy's nose? Parma? Oh, I had never heard of it. Never heard of Parma, Ohio in my life. I'd heard of Parma, Italy, and there is a connection, which is strange. But I'd never heard of Parma, Ohio. Now, mind you, I'm a Canadian. So, I've only really heard of the big places in Ohio, Toledo and whatnot. But you get what a fella's saying. Well, I'll tell you how this came across. Speaking of vintage footage videos, a fellow will scour the interwebs looking for some of this old black and white footage for the Wednesday uploads. And I find stuff on Toronto or Montreal, or Vancouver, Quebec City, but also find old video, of course, and we've all seen a lot of this old footage, early 1900s, late 1890s, New York, San Francisco, Boston. But this, after a while, right, the YouTube algorithm goes, oh, this guy likes this stuff. So it just starts chucking old black and white footage at you, right? And this one came up, and it's of Parma, Ohio. And it's taken in 1927 or 1928. So I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, okay, well, let me see what this is all about. Maybe it's got some cool stuff. I quickly look at it, kind of, sort of, on the goggle machine. And I'm like, oh, well, it's close to Cleveland. So it must be just a subdivision of Cleveland. Well, it turns out it was a separate little city, prior to that a town, prior to that a village, right? And eventually it was gobbled up, or surrounded by Cleveland. But when it was founded, Cleveland was, a day's ride away on horse and buggy. So I thought, okay, it's kind of interesting. So I watched this video, and there was some interesting structures, as of course we would assume in this old footage. I'm like, wow, for this little town way out there, that's a pretty impressive building or church or what have you, of course, right? So then I start poking around on the interwebs, looking at other stuff that had to do with Parma. And that's where, lo and behold, you trip over a giant stinking pile of shenanigans if you catch a guy's drift.
Oh, shit!
Well, yeah, it is closer to Canada than Florida. That's for sure. You got that right. I mean, Ohio's just right there on Lake Erie there, I believe. And so, close to a lot of places in around southern Ontario there. Dragon Sage's neck of the woods, kind of, sort of, in and around Hamilton and Windsor and so on and so forth. Martin is here. Says, hey, guys. Looking forward to the live while playing video games. Hope everyone is well. What game you playing there, bud? Hope you're not playing some glitchy game that's recently been launched where they're basically treating you as a early access purchaser of the game, as a beta tester. Not mentioning any video game companies at all. Ubisoft. But anyway, welcome. So yeah, I digging around, I find some weird stuff that had to do with Parma, and I thought I gotta share this. I gotta share this because it's just strange. Now, of course, I'm surprised but not shocked, right? The more we poke around, the more we're rolling our eyes and just like, come on, man, this just does not add up, right? And Parma is no exception. PCS World says, I think they're going under. Yeah. They're having some problems. They've had like what, 2 in a row, quadruple diamond or whatever the hell the dang, quadruple tiered games, 2 in a row have flopped. So now they got to push back whatchamacallit there till February. The new Samurai one there, because it was all glitchy. People were all upset, and they were stealing imagery from other groups and superimposing it into the game. Yeah, crazy stuff. Not that I'm a big video game guy or anything, but a couple of these companies, they're just they were titans, and now they just they shat the bed. Ubisoft and Bethesda, But anyway, once again, thank you for joining me here, Frankie. New West Reset and New West Reset Live, episode 90. What's the deal with Parma, Ohio? Well, what do you say we watch this video real quick? No sound or music to it. Just that way we can I can maybe throw in a few observations as we're watching. And then we'll get into some of the links below. Take a mid-show break, and when we come back, we'll kind of poke around a little bit more and see what's what. Of course, I got some old photos, but just a small, quick little file just to kind of whet our appetites a little bit. See what I'm saying? So yeah, let's start it off here with this video that was recommended to me by the algorithm. From circa 1927, 1928, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's not. Oh, there we go. It's getting the wheel for some reason. Let me know in the chat, in the box, if you don't mind, please. If you're getting a lot of lagging or if the audio sounds strange or anything like that, just let the guy know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a heads up. Anyway, maybe I was mistaken and there is some sound on this thing, by the way. It might just be music. I don't know. Sponsored by a bank. Okay, well, there's your first clue, I guess. Can you hear the music okay? And can you hear me speaking at a reasonable volume over the music? Or should I turn the music down a little bit? Howdy, Michael. Carmichael is here. Carmichael, hope you don't mind if I'm being very presumptuous by just calling you Michael. Maybe your last name's Carmichael. Maybe your name's like James Carmichael, and you're like, why you calling me Mike, dude? You called me Mike for, Bod. Yes and yes. Good. Thank you, Wiley. Thank you. 5x5 from Kathy Childers. Thank you. Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good, good, good. Okay. Yes, both. No, all perfect. Okay, good. All right. Excelente. Let me just pause it, and then you can read that a little bit, see what's the dealio. They're not favorably looked upon by those pioneers. What is it, of a century and a quarter ago? So we're talking, what, like 250 years ago now-ish, who've moved out to New England colonies to plot their fortunes. So why, if it didn't look so hot, why did they settle here then? You know? Weird. At least you didn't call me Andrew like one guy did. How do you get Andrew out of Carmichael? I'm assuming your name's Michael and you're a car fella. You're a car guy. Again, I'm being very presumptuous, which is not very characteristic of a Canadian, you see, because being presumptuous is considered rude up here in Canada, eh? We don't like being rude there, eh, buddy? Anyway, moving on here with this. Look how they have a covered wagon photo there in the background, or sketch, just to help push that narrative. All right, we got to put a covered wagon in the background there. The attractive climbing shrub, the greenbrier, densely covered the hillsides, and is recorded that greenbrier was the name of the community. Even after 25 years had elapsed when the first frame house was built by Samuel Freeman on Worcester Pike where now stands the home of Frank Johnson. All right, that's fine. Aha. Okay, there you go. So your last name is Carmichael. Well, there you go. Well, welcome from Toronto, from the T dot. From the T dot. Out there in Ontario. A fellow Canuck. So after this guy built the house, then everybody suddenly realized, you know what? It is quite nice out here. Maybe we'll transform this into the most pleasantial residential area. Wait, what? 1826, they elect their township officers. Now here we go. Dr. Long, the name of the township, was changed to Parma. Just roll that back here for a second. There we go. It's changed to Parma because he had taken a trip and found that Parma, Italy, which is so beautiful. He was so inspired by the beauty of Parma, Italy, that he decided to name this area after that because it too was so beautiful. With its bushes and its apparently initially unattractive land. My wife says hi. She's a paranormal investigator. Oh, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Check out the Halloween live stream there, eh? There's some strange vibes and some strange buildings in Calgary. This to go through the town records, the town ledger here. Schoolmaster K.K. Hodgman now lives on the original land purchased from the Western Reserve Company. His grandfather, Amos Hodgman. Oh, interesting. Hello, howdy, good to see you. Lost and Found History Rewritten in the Box. Thanks for shooting in there, eh? So this guy did it all, I guess. Now over 80 years of age, the old village blacksmith, George Hennis, with Mrs. Hennis, lived close by the site of the old smithy. I wish to live on the original homestead. Oh, that's kind of cute. Old couple. Dude was the old town blacksmith. You know what happened with this little town, by the way, unfortunately, was it was booming in the late teens and through the early to mid 20s. And this footage is from, mid to late 20s. And then boom, The old Great Depression. Yeah, the stock market crash. You know, and the dirty 30s and the Dust Bowl and, yada, yada. And that just stopped all of what we're seeing here with all of this activity. Just stopped it right in its tracks. They just shut it down. Really interesting looking equipment there, that's for sure. You guys doing covering over the old trolley streetcar tracks? Probably. Notice they're not laying brick pavers though, because it's too labor intensive. That's a good point, PCS World. It says they had enough money to build the coastal highway in California during that time. Yeah. Meanwhile in California, during the Great Depression, well, that's all the public works programs, of course. All right, so now we're going to start seeing the booming, I guess, city at this point of Parma, Ohio, circa 1927, 28-ish. Vaughn's home, made it safely. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you. State Road 52 feet from curb to curb. Shows what ease traffic is moved through main arteries. Oh, with what ease. So even in this little town, look at this wide-ass road. Oh, here we go. We're going to take us into the thriving commercial shopping district on the corner of Ridge Road and Snow Road. Here we go. Did you see how fast that car whipped by? Slow her down, bud. Watch that car whip through the frame. Going like he's beat the devil. Wait for it. Shazam! Just whipping through town. Well, there's another shopping district on Pearl Road and Ridge Road. Kid on a tricycle? Okay. Remember that. Remember the kid on the trike. Oh, and here comes a little boy in his red wagon. Remember that kid on the tricycle? And remember the boy in the red wagon. It's going to be important later. There's going to be a quiz later, eh? So luckily they opened a plant right there in Parma, I guess, so they could produce all the materials to build the homes and schools. Add B in the box, says The Shining. The Shining. Well, not quite, but we'll get there. Well, yeah, I mean, the name says it all. I like seeing the old trucks in the 20s, right? We see the old cars a lot, but not so much the old trucks, or the lorries, if you will. Of course, Cousin Vinny and I saw that this past summer at Heritage Park at the Automobile Museum there. What's going on here? Oh, the modern educational system. Yes. William Palace is that guy that whipped through town, must have been late for work. Well, I mean, obviously they get everybody together and they say, okay, they're filming here. We want you to drive through the frame. We want this lady to walk through. We want a kid on a bike or something to go through, right? So, because they're trying to make this is like to promote their city. Hey, come move to Parma. Look at all the nice stuff we got here. So they're parading the kids out of the schools, over the school grounds, onto the school buses. And the kids are probably thinking to themselves, this is stupid. Yep. Big, massive schools, like multiple huge primary or elementary schools, and then junior high schools and high schools. Kids mugging and clowning for the camera. Settle down there, kid. The Henry J. Schaff Junior High School. Nearly in the center of the village. It's still a village. They're still calling it a village at this point. So not even a town or a city yet. I guess we'll get there when we check out the links, the Wikipedia version and whatnot later. But let's parade all the kids, and they're like, ah. Separate boys and girls entrances and exits, I'm assuming, at this point. We used to do that up here in Canadian land back in the day. Oh, absolutely, Adby. Absolutely, yes. They go hand in hand, one might say. So all of the foresight here being expertly rolled out for us in Parma, Parma, Ohio. The wide roads, the schools, the multiple, primary or elementary schools, the junior high school, the high school, and then a huge athletic field in anticipation of the city's growth. I guess they're so clever. I mean, sure, you want to do some city planning, but, they're planning for their future citizenry. So they're basically on a wing and a prayer. They're hoping people show up. You got to have your infrastructure. You got to have roads and schools, of course. But the wide roads, and wait till you get a load of this athletic field. They're still calling Parma a village, by the way, at this point. Yeah, you read that right. Let's have a look at that again. Mustang in the box, GT 1982 Mustang. Howdy, howdy. Good to see you. So in the rear of the senior high school is a large athletic field for the physical development of Parma's future citizenry. Okay. So there's your shot of the high school. Very impressive. But then the children are grouped into, quote, families, unquote, and each cottage shelters a, quote, family, unquote. Remember when I said, remember the small children, the little girl on the tricycle and the little boy on his radio flyer red wagon? I'm assuming it was a little red wagon. Anyway, black and white footage, but you know. So this the school is an orphanage, actually. Now, these buildings that we are looking at that look like large, beautifully constructed brick, multi-story estate homes are what they're calling cottages. And then a group of people are put together as a family, and they get to live in one of these quote-unquote colleges. You see that? You see it? Look at it. They're calling that a cottage. That's what the royal family of the UK would refer to as a cottage. That's what some duke, the Duke of Worcestershire, would call that his summer cottage or his hunting lodge, perhaps. They're calling that a cottage. Anyway, keep it rolling. Look at them all. They're lousy with them, by the way. Spaced nicely apart from one another, not necessarily, one on top of the other. Nice front yards with a big park in front of them, with that street. I don't know if that's a street or a sidewalk, and they've just parked a car there. I'm thinking that might actually just be a paved sidewalk, and some knucklehead has parked a car there for the shot. But anyway, gives you an idea of the scale of these homes with the car there. So this is the school, and these are the boys. I'm just trying to get back to that text portion, but it's too jumpy. So Parmadale is the name of this orphanage complex, and I call it a complex because there's the school and other administrative quote-unquote buildings, as well as these so-called cottages. Yeah, it looks like a country club. Excuse me. Absolutely, Carmichael. Wiley says cottage equals mansion. Yeah. Well, not a cottage anyway. Like when I think cottage, I think, yeah, sure, it could be multi-storied. It can be larger, sure. But, you think of wood frame cottage on the lake, right? We've got a lot of people from in and around the Great Lakes region joining us in the show here, in the chat, in the box tonight. You're all familiar with the cottage country, lake country. Use your mind's eye to picture a cottage. Oh, you better believe it there, bud. Oh, for sure there, eh? We're going to drop the guy down on the goggle maps for sure. Anyways, this is this boys orphanage town, orphanage boys band, the school band for this orphan town and this school. Better play nice when the cameras are rolling, Or the head mother superior will give you a good whooping. Well, we shall see. We shall see. The guy doesn't want to let the cat out of the bag here. Dude, we're going to coax this out a little bit here. We're going to suss it out. We're going to smoke him out. We're going to smoke him out, y'all. These little tots are affectionately called the babies. Oh, here we go. Brace yourself, people. They're not really babies, but 5 and under, six, kindergartners, five and under. Construction of 2 churches is planned. So they're the First United Brethren Church. I guess that's a sketch of the proposal, and then there's another one. The Methodist Episcopal. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep jumping around here. My apologies. I meant to hit pause. It's amateur hour here. So what do you think? Do you think that church used to be there? And when they founded this town, they sketched her up and then it had to go? Or do you think that this is legitimately a sketch of a proposal for a church? And another sketched proposal. What's going on? William Powell says, my thoughts completely, Vaughn. Vaughn's asking, incubators in the basement, Frankie? It's a very, very good question. OG Historian Beats. There he is. Howdy, howdy. I mean, we did see some, we did see some mud flood windows. We just saw some windows that looked to me like they were shooting right down into the ground there anyways. So, I mean, that building looks older than built in the 20s. I'm talking that school, right? That boys' orphanage school. So, PCS World, quick and heavy with the info. Thank you. By 1920, the U.S. Census showed Parma, Ohio Township. So it's a township. It's gone from village to township by 1920. Had a population of just 2,345 people. I'm guessing they're showing the whole town in all of these pictures. So, we'll get to that too. So this is 7 to 8 years later. So let's add another. Let's be nuts and add another 2,000 and say there's 4,300 people, 4,300 people that live in this township or town. That's a very impressive little town hall, because you want to build it out of masonry, and then you have a giant pediment there, and then of course a cupola with a dome on it for a handful of 1,000 people. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad they did it. She's a little beauty. Very funny profile on the side of it with that landscaping, and seems to go down a bit on the side there, but sure, yeah, okay. Everything's on big, massive pieces of property. Like there's no street or road in front of the town hall. So you got to park your vehicle, get out and walk up that meandering, winding, 40 feet of paved walkway to get to the town hall. Unusual. Is it like they just had land to spare, I guess? Instead of building their town hall on 2 acres, we'll build it on 17 acres. Yeah, you know what I mean? On January 1st, 1931, Parma became a city with a population of 14,000. 13,899. All right, so we could even say there's like 5,000 or 6,000 people in this point. Heck, 7,000 people. Still an impressive haul. We get to see the firefighters in action. So the lower level of the town hall is the fire department, or the fire brigade. And the cops. With 2 cars and 2 motorcycles, eh? Nice, nice. So you've got roughly 5,000 to 7,000 people, and that's being generous. And they've got 10 cops. So I guess they're anticipating a lot of crime coming down from Cleveland. I don't know. But a very interesting building, that town hall. So the main floor has your fire department, fire brigade, and your police. And then I guess what's the upper floor from this profile, but the main floor from the front is the town hall. So the, council chambers, administration, office, and so on. Okay, here we go. Let's keep it rolling. Yeah, massive greenhouses here in Parma. So year-round produce and plants being banged out of this massive greenhouse. Of course, you got to have your, your golf and country club. The big, giant building that just keeps going and going. Again, I think these cars are driving on a sidewalk. Like a bunch of maniacs. I think they're doing that to make... There's probably only 8 cars in the whole town, and they're just driving them around every time they take a shot or film a shot, line up a shot, and action, and then they roll a couple of cars through. Because judging by how wide their main street was in the town, what the cars are driving on in this bit of footage here, it appears to be, at least to me, a paved walkway that takes you from the street up to this building. But I could be wrong. That's right, Wiley. Wiley says the whimsical music just lets you know that everything is dandy. Just fine and dandy, thank you very much. Welcome to Parma, Ohio. Oh, the ye olde swimming hole. This town just kind of popped up, but they already have an ye olde swimming hole. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty fun though. It's very interesting shaped boulders around there. Evergreen Lake. Looks pretty nice. That looks pretty nice. Get your canoe there, eh, bud? And go right out on old Evergreen Lake. Yeah. And this town is just set up, ready to go. So it's either a planned community going back to, what was it, the 1840s? Or some of the stuff was already there. Because look at the size of the buildings on the shoreline of this Evergreen Lake, by the way. And some of the stuff was renovated or renovated. And Bob's your uncle. Did they just ship in a bunch of orphans into this town? Quote unquote families inhabited those quote unquote cottages, right? Yes, good point, Vaughn. Very large, mature trees around the homes. The majority of the more substantially sized buildings in this video footage, to me, look older than what they say they are. You know, built in the around 1900-ish. Feast your eyes on this place. Why is there a it almost looks like a guard's shelter? You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean, right? You know, in front of Royal Palace, they have that little thing that the guard can stand in. I guess if it rains or snows or something, I don't know. But this very impressive stone house with the big arched stone entranceway there, and the stone cairns and stone wall around the perimeter. But then that funny stone, maybe that's their front gate. Maybe the gate there is the driveway for your vehicle. And maybe going through that little arched building there is, you know, how you enter the property. I don't know. Good point. Yeah, like a guard booth, right? Kind of looks like that. Now, you will see in rural areas, right? At least up here in Canada land, especially out in the prairies, you know, the farmlands where it's a little bit flatter than where it is here in Calgary. We're closer to the Rockies, right? So there's the rolling foothills, right? But slightly east, maybe, heck, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes on the highway, you know, going 60 miles per hour, you know, 100 clicks per hour. It flattens out and you get that flat farmland, right? So it gets windy. And in the winter, you will see at the end of a long driveway where the farmhouse is removed off of the gravel road, you will see a little shelter built. And that's for the kiddies to stand inside of out of the wind. It's a bus shelter for the school bus. Sometimes the farmers get cheeky with it and they build a smaller, you know, scaled down replica of the farmhouse and paint it the same and everything. So it looks like a teeny tiny version of their farmhouse and it's kind of cute and whatnot. But I don't think that's what that little stone thing was. I don't know, you know, what that was here in this footage. It could have just been a fancy entranceway or something, but a lot of stonework. Abby says that looks like that one, quote, old house at the end of a long road in every town. The one with strange history and recluse owners. Yeah. Look at all of these beautifully landscaped park areas. I'm guessing these are parks. This might be somebody's garden or their yard, their front yard, backyard. This might be public use area. I don't know. Like, that's a nice piece of property right there up on that hill, that house. And then, you know, and all that landscaping and whatnot. Oh, now here's in the more affordable homes. Again, like wide streets, man. And these houses still, these are the more affordable homes. They're still quite nice. Now, I think these here, they look to me like they've been built more recently. These are us guys building these to now supplement what was founded and was already there. A definitely more distinct building style, using a lot of the same materials, right? Brick and wood and stone, but not quite as sophisticated and not quite as large and expansive and ornamented as those. What they're downplaying is calling cottages. Now, of course, again, as a reminder, this video is sponsored by a bank, so it's going to be very commercialized, and you're going to get a bank commercial here. They're going to be really saying, "Hey, such and such bank on such and such street really help people get mortgages to buy these homes." So the site of the old Johnson house, they tore it down and they put a bank there, I guess. Of course they did. It looks pretty suspicious to me as well. But so there's your propaganda and your bank commercial here. They've helped more Parma families finance their homes than any other yada yada yada. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's right. Get enough homes on there, and you could build your hotel. That did look like a hotel that they say they tore down and put a bank there. I mean, it'd be very easy to say that was at the same location, but I mean, it could just very well be that bank was already there, and they're saying, "Oh, it was on the intersection, on the corner of such and such and such street." Well, there's 4 corners to those intersections, so it's very easy to confuse. You know what I'm saying? You just show a still photo of the main branch. That could be any building anywhere. But anyway, they're still using the term village, though. Parma is a charming village abounding in natural beauty with sweeping hills, half masked by sturdy yada yada. Like at this point in 27, 28, it's not really a village anymore. But anyway, so there you go, Parma, Cleveland's fastest growing suburb. So now they're saying it's a suburb. So what is it? A village, a township, a town, a city, or a suburb? I don't know, but it's circa 1928-ish. I'm going to butcher this, Cuyahoga County Public Library and the Parma Area Community Television provided music and end titles. There you go. Absolutely. Lost and Found History says the bank. Trade in your lawful money, gold or silver, for negotiable instruments. In other words, banknotes. Yeah. Well, it's legal tender because they wrote it right on it, so it's got to be true. They have to write on there, this note is legal tender. Otherwise, people just look at it and go, what's this? A piece of paper with some picture of some dude on it? Right? Because, yes, back in the day, legal tender was gold coins, silver coins, copper coins. And the metal of which the coin was struck and weighted determined the value of the coin because, copper and silver and gold are valuable. Paper, not so much. And I know American money is not paper. It's, what is that? It's a weird secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. It's like linen and paper and something. I don't know. Our money up here in Canada land is plastic now. So that'll tell you everything. I don't know if it's made out of recycled water bottles or what the hell. It's made out of recycled old streetcar trolleys. Anyway, so that's the video that the YouTube's algorithm recommended a guy, because I'm always poking around looking for old vintage footage. And I found that to be absolutely baffling and befuddling and bewildering. I was gobsmacked and dumbfounded. I'm like, wait, so what exactly is going on with Parma? I still don't even know what the hell is going on with this place. So what do you say we just quickly have a look at the Wikipedia and see what the official story is here from old Wacky, just for shits and giggles. Parma, Ohio. So it's a city in Cuyahoga County, Ohio, United States, located in the southern edge of Cleveland. As of the 2020 census, 81,000 people. Parma is the 7th largest city in Ohio, the largest suburb in the state, so it's a city and a suburb. Okay. Seems weird.
That doesn't make sense.
Anyway, and it's the 2nd largest city in the county after Cleveland. History: Greenbrier, 1806. Wow, I was way off when I was saying 1840s. 1806 to 1826. In 1806, the area that eventually became Parma and Parma Heights was originally surveyed by Abraham Tappan, a surveyor for the Connecticut Land Company. Just go out there and see if there's anything you can scrounge up there, bud. Oh, I found something. What'd you find, Abe? Oh, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. Anyways, it was known as Township 6, Range 13. This designation gave the town its first identity in the Western Reserve. Soon after, Township 6, Range 13 was commonly referred to as Greenbrier, supposedly for the rambling bush that grew there. Could have easily named it after any one of the other thousands of plant life that's around there, but okay. Benajafe? Sounds like I'm having a stroke or I'm sneezing or something. But anyways, his wife, Ruth Wilcox Fay, and their 10 children, arrivals from Lewis County, New York, were the first settlers in 1816. It was then the Greenbrier, under a newly organized government seat under Brooklyn Township, began attending to its own governmental needs. So now here we go, the township, 1826 to 1924. See, so it was basically a town almost right up to when we watched that film of 1927, 28-ish. Huh. Okie dokie. Self-government started to gain in popularity by the time the new Greenbrier settlement contained 20 households. However, prior to the establishment of the new township, the name Greenbrier was replaced by the name Parma. This was largely due to Dr. David Long, who had recently returned from Italy and, quote, impressed with the grandeur and beauty, was reminded of Parma, Italy, and persuaded the early townspeople that the territory deserved a better name than shitty Greenbrier. So this guy goes to this place and says, hey there, this Greenbrier reminds me of that, so let's change the name. And people that have been living there for a couple of decades at this point, no, for a decade at this point, 10 years, are just like, yeah, sure, just call it whatever you want, buddy. So thus, on March 7th, 1826, a resolution was passed ordering the construction of the new township. It stated, on the petition of sundry inhabitants for a new township to be organized and erected comprising number 6 in the 13th range, ordered that said township number 6 in the 13th range be set off and erected into a new township by the name of Parma, to be bounded by the original lines of said township. Very, very funny wording on that.
What?
On the same day, a public notice was, On the same day, a public notice was issued to qualified electors by the county commissioners. They met at the Samuel Freeman House on April 3rd, 1826, to elect township officers according to the law. It was then that the first 11 officers were elected to lead the new government at this guy's house. During the time, Parma Township remained largely agricultural. The first schoolhouse was a log structure built on the hill at the northern corner of what is now Parma Heights Cemetery. Great. A memorial plate on a stone marks the spot. In 1827, the township was divided into road districts. The Broadview Road of today was then known as Town Line Road, as well as Independence Road. Ridge Road was known then as Center Road. Yada, yada. Okay. Stone house built in 1849, I guess that's where I got that date, and known as the Henninger House, was occupied by several generations of Henningers and is still standing today. That's this one. The house rests on one of the higher points in Cuyahoga County. I know, I keep tripping over that. Which provided visibility for the entire northeastern part of Parma Township. This was also the same site where the Erie Indians, centuries before, stood to read and send fire signals, as well as pray to their spirits. Then this guy just decided to build his house up there. Get out of the way, Indians, with your smoke signals. By the way, still pushing that smoke signal narrative. That, you could send messages, complicated messages with smoke signals. Got a few indigenous friends and acquaintances. And, that's a load of... It's a load of horseshit. Anyway, by 1850, the U.S. Census listed Parma's township's population at 1,300 people. However, the rising population of township had slowed over the decades. Civil War affected Parma much as it did other towns and villages in the nation. Yeah, no kidding. 3 out of 4 homes sent a father, sons, or sometimes both to fight in the war. By 1910, the population had increased to 1,630 people. In 1911, Parma Heights, due to the temperance mood of the day, separated itself from the Parma Township after a vote of 42 to 32, and it was incorporated as a village of its own, comprising 4.13 square miles. The main reason for establishing the village of Parma Heights was to get a town marshal. There is one saloon on the territory, some pretty rough crowds. Sundays have disturbed the quiet of the neighborhood. They wanted it closed on Sundays. To do this, they wished a town marshal. They couldn't have a town marshal without becoming a village, so they became one. So they just decided to separate, had a vote, became a village so they could get a town marshal, so that the town marshal could close down the saloon on a Sunday. So they need to get a lawman in there. Didn't they say they already elected people, with the law and all that up here? I don't know. Okay, anyway. So too much drinking and fighting going on in Parma in that one saloon. So much so that they had to separate. We can't take it. We can't take the noise from the drinking and the fighting over there in that one saloon on a Sunday. So we want you to shut it down. The rest of the week is fine for the noise and the drinking and the fighting, I guess. But just not on a Sunday. All right. Okie dokie. That's just weird. It's just weird to me. Anyway, I don't know. Link below for that one. Let's see what else we got here. links below for this one as well. This is parmayps.com. 15 things we bet you didn't know about Parma's history. Oh, this ought to be great. Brace yourselves, everybody. Oh, and their cursor is a flamingo. Fantastic. What was Parma? Oh, and it's pink. Great. What was Parma before it became Cleveland's largest suburb and Ohio's seventh largest city? Why was it named Parma anyway? Why is there Parma and Parma Heights? Have Parmidians always loved their local taverns? We hit the Parma Library to find out more about our city. Here are a few facts about the area's days, yada, yada. Okay. Parma was originally known as Township 6. Yeah, okay. Land granted to the colony of Connecticut under the terms of its charter by King Charles II. And I say, royal decree and whatnot. After the American Revolutionary War, Connecticut sold much of the reserve to a group of speculators, who in turn sold it in portions for development by new settlers. The first settlers arrived in 1816. So this land just got sold and resold. All righty. The Parma area was once called Greenbrier after the many thorny bushes in the area. Early settlers had to clear out these bushes and woods to build on the land. First settler was a merchant who opened an inn and tavern. The very first guy in town opens a hotel with a saloon or a tavern in it. Doesn't build his own house, doesn't start a farm or a ranch. No, I'm going to build a hotel with a watering hole. A tavern. Again, I'm going to anticipate that this place is going to boom like gangbusters. Eventually, a doctor from Cleveland visited Parma, Italy, and was so impressed with it, he persuaded the people of Greenbrier to change the town's name. There it is again. Oh, wow. Though some may complain about the city's potholes, imagine driving down muddy roads and having to pay tolls just to cross through the Pearl and York intersection. This is how roads were in the city's early days. You don't say, muddy roads and guys charging you to use the roads. Also, Ridge Road was once called Center Road because it ran through the center of town. Ridgewood Drive was first known as Bean Road after the bean farmers in the area. Oh, and they had streetcars. There you go. Streetcars ran along State Road from Ridgewood Drive to Brook. Yeah, okay, yada. 1915 until 1939. So this little bunyuk town in the middle of nowhere, well, not in the middle of nowhere, but, outside of Cleveland, had their own streetcar trolley. In 1842, there were so many bears, wolves, and rattlesnakes destroying farm animals and crops in Parma that a hunting party had to be organized. That's weird. That just sounds weird to me. I don't know.
I don't believe you.
Anyway, jumping ahead to 1912, a portion of Parma broke off and became Parma Heights. Some say that this may have been because of the temperance movement against the use of alcohol. So some say that this may have been. Okay. Parma had a lot of taverns and inns even then. Yeah, but Wiki said that they had only one. So which one is it? And suddenly the people of Parma Heights wanted to form their own, more sober community. But if you look around today, the city came around. After WW2, many soldiers came home to Parma to raise the families. In the 40s and 50s saw industrial growth with the construction of the General Motors Chevrolet plant. Well, there you go. Get one of the big three in there. That's why it boomed to 28,000 in 1950 and then tripled to 82,000 by 1960. It was a Chevy town. Many shopping plazas popped up. Yada, yada. They have more than 34,000 homes in Parma now. But it's the oldest is the Henninger House, built in 1849. It's still standing. There it is. Along with its many drinking holes, Parma also has a long tradition of being a city of churches. The first church in Parma was a Baptist, but today the city has close to 50, including the iconic golden domes of St. Josaphat's Ukrainian Catholic Cathedral, and they also have an Islamic mosque, by the way. Look at this beaut. Wow. Parma School District encompasses Parma, yada yada, making the 11th. Yeah, okay. Many have been standing for decades. Thorough Park Elementary, 1926. St. Charles Elementary, 24. Parma Senior High School, 1853. Wow. Here's their athletic field behind the high school. Byers Field was named after Superintendent Carl Byers and is one of the largest stadiums in the county. It sits on a site that used to be an apple orchard. Probably where those dang greenhouses were. Yeah, knock that crap down. Yeah, you don't need that. That's an impressive sports arena. And that picture's from 53. Parma Town Mall. Yeah, okay. Golf course. There, somebody earlier in the box, in the chat, mentioned a golf course. So there you go. You called it. Okay, then they're going to redevelop some stuff. For those unfamiliar, Parmadale was a village for needy children created in 1925. Cottages, a dining hall, school chapel, and even power plant spanned 180 acres of land off State Road. But it was closed in 2014. And there's a shot of that Parmadale. The orphanage / school with the so-called quote-unquote cottages. Look at the size of these. And then a bunch of other old world buildings over yonder here as well. The Parma Theater opened in 1936 and stood for almost 80 years before also closing in 2014. 2014 was a crappy year for Parma, Ohio. Parma also had a drive-in theater, closed in 1990, and a theater. So they had like 3 theaters in this place. After WW1, many Germans came to the United States and settled in Cleveland. In 1924, they established the German Central Organization, which purchased land in 1926 that became a farm and is still used today for many recreational activities, including weddings, fish fries, and the group's fabulous Oktoberfest. Oh, well, of course. We're talking Ohio with a German population here in this area. You're going to have an Oktoberfest. While many settlers of Parma were German descent, over time the city has become a mix of cultures including Ukrainian, Polish, Italian, and Irish. So that'll answer the question, where did all those bricks come from? Oh, Giuseppe, stack it a brick. So a founded place that was built on and they shipped orphans out there. I don't know. This is wacky. Right? I'd be saying, yeah, where's the zoo? Right? That's all it's missing. Golf course, country club, tennis courts, a lake, all kinds of other things going on there. Churches coming out the wazoo. All right, let's look into this Parmadale real quick. And then we'll take a mid-show break. So this is from clevelandhistorical.org. Parmadale, an experimental suburban community for orphaned children's. Parmadale Children's Village of St. Vincent de Paul opened its doors in 1925 on the State Road in Parma, Ohio, with funding and organizational support from the Catholic Charities Corporation. Parmadale opened with the mission of caring for orphan boys aged 6 to 16. Parmadale was among the first orphanages to move away from institutional care, implementing a cottage residential plan meant to foster a sense of family. The campus was designed by architect George S. Ryder and built by John Gill and Sons, a construction company notable for their work on the Terminal Tower and Allen Theater. I'm guessing these are in Cleveland, perhaps. Initially, the campus consisted of only 12 cottages, but as nearby orphanages consolidated or closed, Parmadale expanded to meet demand. Where and why? All the orphans. In addition to the cottages, the grounds consisted of a school, gymnasium, a pool, a dining hall, administrative building, and convent. Boom, there it is. Sister Mary Margaret whacking you with the ruler because you're not paying attention in your arithmetic lessons, making it almost unnecessary for the children to leave the grounds unless they were going on a special outing. You ain't going anywhere, kid. Well, they had their own power plant. We saw the greenhouse. They were growing their own food, for pity's sakes. The first occupants at Parmadale arrived from the St. Vincent de Paul and the St. Louisville orphanages, which were both closing their doors as Parmadale was being built. St. Vincent de Paul Orphanage had been established in 1853 by Sisters of Charity of St. Augustine. The sisters continued their work at Parmadale before its shift to a residential treatment facility, serving as teachers and house mothers. As local conditions changed, Parmadale's mission evolved and its campus grew. In 1947, Bishop Hoban blessed the opening of additional cottages as Parmadale saw the arrival of the first girls from the closing of St. Joseph's Orphanage. Parmadale also took on the care of children from Home of the Holy Family. When that joint closed in 1952, they're just dumping them all into this place. When Parmadale merged with St. Anthony's Home for Boys and Young Men in 1975, the organization was rechristened Parmadale Family Services. With the orphan population in decline by the 1980s, for some reason, whatever was causing orphans suddenly stopped, I guess. They quit pumping them out of incubators by then? I don't know, man. But anyways, Parmadale began to focus on serving special needs children. To facilitate these changes, new buildings were constructed, including 2 intensive treatment facilities built in 1989 and 1994, and the multipurpose center in 2009. Parmadale changed yet again, bringing an end to the cottage residential plan and opening the Parmadale Institute, a residential treatment facility intended to treat up to 80 adolescents with behavioral health needs, such as chemical dependency, trauma, severe depression, and other psychological disorders. I think it was probably better served when it was servicing special needs children as opposed to people hooked on drugs. But, why are you going to ship the drug addicts up to this nice little place? I mean, they need treatment too, like anybody else. But anyways, just changing rules a lot. But look at this. Here's a photo. I ended up pulling a copy of this so we can zoom in on it, but very strange looking. And there's that school again. The school is still there, by the way. And that was in the thumbnail as well. There was their gymnasium back when they built them separately from the schools for some reason. And these are the quote-unquote cottages. Interior of the church. Yep, pipe organ. Sure, why not? So there you go. clevelandhistorical.org with this weirdo Parmadale community within the community of Parma, Ohio. So what do you think of that in the chat? Everybody in the box, let me know. Sound off. And if you're watching this after the fact, after the live, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And number 2, sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think of this. I'm calling it shenanigans. Shenanigans. It just sounds very strange. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Vaughn asking, ever get the ruler across the knuckles in school? Got me a couple times. Yeah, I got that a couple times. Not very often, though. I wasn't necessarily a rambunctious. I was the class clown, but I wasn't really a troublemaker per se. You know what I mean? Let's face it, I did disrupt the class with some jokes and shenanigans and goofy voices and whatnot, but I mean, I wasn't a troublemaker really. Yeah, a lot of these massive, what they're calling them cottages. They are just ridiculous. They're too big to be cottages. I mean, come on, man. They look like estate homes. Like a place like that here in Calgary, built out of brick and sandstone, or one or the other, or both. That would be, an estate home. Not quite a mansion, although we have some of the old world mansions here in Calgary too, and of course modern ones. But so I wouldn't necessarily say they're mansions, but they're definitely not cottages. Kathy Childers in the box saying very suspicious. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of thought so too. Anyway, what are we looking at? Holy macaroni. Dude, that guy's been jabbering for an hour and 42 minutes here already. All right, what do you say we take a mid-show break? And I give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek. Once again, if you haven't already, please give a guy one of these. Oh, and by the way, speaking of up in the chat, make sure you clicked on live chat so you're getting all the comments. Make sure you hit that refresh too, because, you might be commenting on something from like 10 minutes ago there, eh? Because I just noticed that there was probably a little bit of something wacky. Some of you may have gotten the wheel or the jittery for a second. I think maybe there's something going on here. I don't know, man. I don't use the Wi-Fi. I'm plugged right into the interwebs, and I got the top tier interwebs that I can get here, and it's still getting problems. But we'll work through it. Thank you very much, Al Triano. Hit that like button. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, do all the, things that all a million other channels ask you a million times to do over and over, please. All right. Let's quit messing around here. Let's get this thing queued up for you. Vintage footage is going to be coming up Wednesday for your midweek. I'm going to give you a sneak peek here. Just about 3.5 minutes long. This is an old train ride through Mongolia. I think this is 1920. And if you got some ear goggles, put them on and plug them in. Smoke them if you got them. This is another good one. If you're a guitar player, you might especially enjoy this one. And Vaughn, by the way, I think this style of music might be right up your alley. Actually, I think all of you will enjoy the music, but Vaughn, I think you'll get what I'm laying down here for you. But anyways, just under 3.5 minutes, old world Mongolia, right there, right in the heart of Tartaria land. 3.5 minutes, and we'll see you on the other side. All right? Thanks, everyone. Enjoy. Cheers. All right. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Hello. Frankie here, New West Reset. Thank you very much for shooting in and joining me here for another one. Another live one, New West Reset Live, episode 90, 90, if you can believe that. What's the deal with Parma, Ohio, Frankie? I don't know, but we're going to take a closer look at this Parma, Ohio. Why? Well, because there's some strange stuff going on. Thank you for joining me here. Happy Sunday to you. Just a skosh before 7 p.m. local time, mountain time here on this Sunday, November the 3rd, 2024. Still above 0 Celsius. So that's not too bad. The guy still got his window open. So thanks for winding down your weekend here with yours truly and joining me here on this Sunday Fun Day. Really appreciate seeing all of you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for doing one of these or one of these. It's fine. I'm not going to cry my pillow tonight. It's going to be okay. Links below for everything we've covered thus far with the Wikipedia in regards to Parma, Ohio, as well as the clevelandhistorical.org and then parmayps.com. Some interesting factoids. This town is very unusual. And if you missed the top half of the show, this just came on my radar because of, looking around and digging through on the interwebs looking for vintage footage. Like we just watched there of old-timey Mongolia. By the way, the music on that's great, eh? That's the Tea Party, Canadian band. That's Jeff Martin, I believe is his name, lead singer, lead guitar player. What did you think of that footage? Yeah, clickety-clack down the railroad track. Thank you, Wiley. Wiley says, good little film. I like it. I agree, Al. Al Triano in the box. Somebody will know the truth. People like us are pushing through. Yep, we're breathing down their necks, I think. Wiley says, tear down your shitty wall. Yeah, that's South Park reference here, buddy. Anyway, thank you, Kathy. Yeah, well, I enjoy it. It sounds strange, but I enjoy almost getting a headache and my ocular sphericals. A guy's eyeballs almost turn square from staring at the computer screen for hours on end looking for old world footage like that. And the YouTubes, I will say, helps a guy out. They throw a lot of stuff at me recommending, old black and white footage from the turn of the last century because, I watch a lot of it, right? And I, clip it and use it. So that's where this came to be. This, at the top of the show we watched, I think it was only about a 10-minute clip. It was basically sponsored by a bank there in Parma. Hey, come on down to Parma, Ohio and settle into this nice little village-like community. Like your tourism board or your local chamber of commerce will do to try to get businesses and people to move into your town or city. And this one was from roughly 1927, 28, right before the crash and the Great Depression. So, bad timing on that one, I guess. So yeah, it just popped up. Very strange. Anyway, I got a couple of photos here, just real quick to look at, just so we could zoom in on some stuff. And then, as mentioned earlier, we're going to take the little guy and drop him down on the, on the goggle machine here on the goggle maps and see what's the dealio. You know what I'm saying? Vaughn asking, any snow here yet? It did snow here a couple of weeks ago, but it didn't really accumulate. It sort of accumulated a bit because it snowed overnight. But within 2 hours of the sunrise, it all but melted, except for in some of the shaded areas, And then even by the end of the day, when the sun had set, even that had melted. And we haven't had any since. It's gotten cold, and we've had some rain, but that is it so far. Of course, now I've put the kibosh on it and jinxed it. So, great. Thanks a lot. Anyway, typical Canadian, pissing and moaning and whinging about the weather. Anyway, let's have a look at some photographs here real quick. Let's see what's the dealio. Hey, where'd it go? There I am. All right. So this is that high school. It's taken out of a book or a magazine or something. You can see quite impressive. And yeah, of course, they had to add on to it, I imagine, over the years. But, the main portion of the original structure, very impressive. Very nice, ornate entranceway there. It's hard to tell in this picture, but yeah, there's a whole row of low windows down there too. Odd. We can zoom in on this. So there's their athletic field. This is very interesting. Just a very, sorry, that previous picture was the orphanage. This is the high school. My mistake. You can see it looks like they're driving a car up on some of these, these are walkways, I think. But anyway. These, I think, are part of the old air exchange system, which has been, replaced in our modern era by HVAC, HVAC. Unusual. Weird and changing of the brick in here. I don't know what's going on there, but lovely old building. Oh, there's them old folks. I don't even know what this cockamamie device is. Anybody have any ideas what this thing is? Maybe it's one of those, what do you call them? You stick your head in there and you crank this and it shows like flicker pictures. You know what I'm saying? 1884. Big, huge home there. Looking pretty fancy. We're getting these really wide streets. Like really wide. There's one of the churches. Beautiful somatic pattern in that window there. A very nice tower. I'm thinking that this has already been monkeyed with. It's just my opinion. This actually looks like at one time it served a different purpose than a church, though. Sorry, they get a little pixelated if I zoom in too much, but I didn't want to get too many old photos. I didn't want to kind of spoil it because we are going to drop down with the guy on the goggle machine here. So what do you say we do that quick, fast, and in a hurry? Let's see what's the deal here. Let's go here. Yes, indeed. Let me just share this and open it up for you. All right, so there's Cleveland right there. And that's Lake Erie. So if you remember the little hullabaloo, the little narrative there on that video at the top half of the show, they were really talking about a couple of main streets. There was like Pearl Road and stuff like that there. So we're going to kind of look around in there and see what's going on. But we're going to also look at some other notable areas that I've just kind of made note of here on the old Maparoo. So let's get the guy down here. One of the interesting things, this is sort of one of the main Snow Road and was it Ridge Road? Was one of their shopping districts in that old video. But I want you to make note right here of this very interesting street pattern right around the main road, Ridge Road. You can see here, very, very interesting. You've got this sort of, it's not a traffic circle. It's, well, maybe it is a traffic circle. Okay, it says traffic circle. But I mean, you have different roadways coming in all these different angles. And then you've got these park areas and then, residential areas and, other buildings. You've got these crazy, like, diagonal offshoots that come shooting out of here. And then this sort of central, almost pill-shaped or phallic-shaped area, which is basically was sort of the main hub, really, of old-timey Parma. It's just very, very weird. So I just thought that overall that was just very interesting shape. And this is very unusual. I mean, you see this in Europe a lot, but, we've seen it in other American cities or areas, but these tend to be areas of significance, like Washington, D.C., for example, right? You see this kind of crazy stuff. New York City, we see some of that. It's just, I don't know. It just struck me as unusual and unique. But anyway, let's get to this shopping district here. Let's drop the guy down and see if there's anything left of the wonderful old Parma shopping district. Okay. Yeah, looks like still got some remnants here. Got some little baubles or tech left on it, even, maybe. This is just the back, but, you usually see a lot of shenanigans and chicanery in the back, more so than in the front. Looks like there was a window like this one here, and they bricked it in, and then they ended up putting a door down here. Anyway, let's take a stroll here. See what's the deal. Oh, that's interesting. So you can bet back in the day, these were probably pavement lights. These had those light prisms in them. So it's to light the space below, but not to let daylight or natural sunlight into the quote unquote basement of the building. No, this was to let light down into an open area, like a vaulted area underneath the sidewalks. And eventually a lot of those were closed off and bricked in. We see that in the US, we see it up in Canada land here, and then we see it over in Europe too, and in the UK. Well, that's nice detail on here. A little bit of a, Victorian tart up, but nonetheless, it's a little town, a village, going through that extra effort. So that's why I said, remember those children in that video that were, one on the tricycle and one on the little wagon. This whole town started off as an orphan town, or a major portion of it started as an orphan town. Just so strange to me. Got some kind of torch here with, I don't know what that is around it. Very strange. Interesting symbology here. Can't quite read that, but it doesn't look like it's been scrubbed necessarily. And of course, we see this kind of thing all over the realm. Doesn't matter if you're in Ohio or up here somewhere in Canada, in Ontario, let's say, or doesn't matter if you're in, Wales or, I don't know, maybe you're in Hong Kong, man. You're going to see some of this stuff. Ooh, this has been brutalized. Yikes. They brutalized the hell out of that one. They even put in redneck skylights. Great. Just going to take a quick stroll down. Okay, yeah, maybe. More redneck skylights. More brutalizing. Very interesting. Now, we're not going to find anything extraordinarily extravagant around here. Keep in mind, this is just a little tiny little place. But, okay, it's getting more modern up here. All right. Let's head back down the road a ways. There's that other shopping district that was right here. Ridge Road and like Pearl or something. Let's just up the guy here and see. Okay. Bit of a strange slope here. And it's a weird intersection, man. Look at this false front on this thing. Strange. Are those... Oh, no, it was just the light. Trick of the light. Okay. Well, there's a chicken joint. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, these have been all messed and monkeyed with. They've been brutalized every which way from Sunday. Planet of the Vapes. Oh, that's clever. This looks like that. What was that place in High River, Vinny? Was it the drugstore? This looks like that same style with the door in the corner, but it's recessed into a sort of an archway. It's got some nice remnants left on there. Yeah, see, just a weird intersection there. That is so goofy. Anything else? Oh, yeah, a little bit here. Whoa, whoa, easy. Yeah, it's been brutalized, and there's a big tree. Can't quite make out what that says, but it's definitely not a date. EL or CL or GL. I think it looks to me CL something. Oh, very interesting, though. With the side by side. How do you get up here, though? Bet you they have to build a shack on the side or the back or something. Oh, yeah, there it is. To get up into the upper level. Yeah, that's right. You know which one I'm talking about, right? Yeah. I mean, that one was sandstone and brick, whereas this one was just brick. But see what's up here. That's all, and it just boom straight into residential, right off the main high street. Oh, right by the Walgreens. Well, what do you know? It's been messed with too, I think. That, I'm not saying that all of these are going to be pre-reset, but some of these are really old, and then they've brutalized the hell out of them. They put their awnings, they brick in windows and put doors in. All kinds of shenanigans. What's that over there? What is that thing? It's the old theater. Or one of the old theaters. At least that's what I'm guessing. Not sure why you need a portal window in a theater, but okay. Maybe it was the old opera house, and then it became a theater. It's hard to tell with the stupid pizza joint. You know what I mean? Like they just really monkeyed with it. You get it back here? No. Looks like that's about it for that. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I thought I had something marked here, but I'm not seeing what I marked. Hang on, let me open up the side panel here for a second here. All right. So here's that evergreen lake. So in the footage, you see the canoe going by. Yeah, that's right. I did find a very interesting house right here. It's got like a turret with a conical dome on it. Here. Very, very old world influenced, I would say. See if I can get a better angle here. There we go. And they've covered some of it in schmutz. But I want to say that it was probably brick, but then you've got down here something funny going on with almost looks like stone and then some brick. You tell me and we'll both know. Your guess is as good as mine. Definitely an aged place. And I think there was another one up here too on the corner. Look at this place. Oh, lions. Yeah, you got to have your lions there. I guess not. I thought there was another one with a dome on it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Got to try to play peekaboo, and it's not letting a fella get a good shot. But you get the idea. What else did I have marked here? Let's see. I guess that was it. I just marked a couple of intersections. I thought I found the church, and I thought I had marked it, but must have slipped my mind. Come on, goggle. Oh, there. What's this? Looks interesting. Uh-huh. Okay. Now we're talking. Yep. What in the boobies on a school? All the boys are laughing and tittering. Have your fleur-de-lis there for some reason. Phoenician shell or something there too. Some kind of strange symbology, some rosettes maybe. something going on down here that they've got to vent it. Looks like there's some shenanigans going on down here, maybe. That's impressive. That's nice. Okay, there's a modern edition. A couple of modern editions, I'm guessing. Okay. It's weird. Okay, these would have been, I guess, the separate entrances back in that earlier video that we saw. There's a pediment here. There's a big fancy doorway. There's some kind of supports here with these scalloped details on them. So were there stairs here? I guess I mean, obviously there must have been. That's a door. It's unusual. Of course, the whole thing's up on a hump. Mm-hmm. It's kind of what I was thinking, especially with the lay of the land, right? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's see what other stuff jumps out at us here. Oh. No, that's more modern. Trying to find those old churches. Oh man, they brutalized the hell out of this place. Bunch of redneck skylights down here. Put crappy siding all over it. Just look out for that first step. She's a doozy there, bud. Just get that right out. Quit loitering. Damn kids. Loitering in front of whatever this is. And let's see what else we can see here. This is a really odd little place. You know what I'm saying? It's just very unusual, shall we say. Like it's peppered with all kinds of old buildings. Brooklyn Polish American home. Okay. They monkeyed around with different brick here, but I wonder what that used to be. The curved roof line like that. An old dirigible hangar, an old, I don't know, opera house. This place is strange looking. Very strange. Yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans going on around here. All right, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I'm still trying to, well, I don't want to beat any horse. Come on, Goggle. Speed it up now. Still trying to find the old churches and whatnot. lot of stone and brick. It's like they just couldn't make up their mind. Just use it all. Whatever we got. Lovely though. Really nice. Dragon Sage in the box. How's she going there, bud? Good to see you. Thanks for shooting in there, eh? Oh, I'm totally okay with it. I thought you were keeping that under your hat, though, there, eh, buddy? Otherwise, I would have said something a long time ago there, eh? But yeah, Vaughn's got a channel, Old World Underground. So go over there and subscribe and show him some support. Subscribe to Dragon Sage as well, please. He's doing some good stuff over there. He does some boots on the ground, mudflood stuff, but he's also an artist and a craftsman. Builds bows, and well, he does other handy type stuff. Well, here I was monkeying around trying to find these old churches, and they're right on the main road here. Just goofing around like a jackass. Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's quite nice. Thank you very much. And this place beside it. Yeah, just a cottage with some mudflood windows that we're just going to put some redneck skylights in them. Nothing to see here. Can we go up the street, though? Yes. Oh, my. Oh, hello. That's an impressive surprise. Huh. Okay. Well, howdy. Look at the modern crap, and then look at the more beautiful, older construction. I mean, you just can't beat it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hi. We got such a problem with these low mudflood windows that we've tried to excavate them, and that didn't work. And now crud gets down in there, so we're going to build this curved wrought iron fence to prevent, I don't know, possums and raccoons from getting in there. And I don't know. I mean, earlier we read up one of the problems they had in the fledgling village of Parma, Ohio, was they were lousy with wolves and bears and rattlesnakes. So I don't know, maybe wolves and bears are trying to get down into the basement of that church. I don't know. Doesn't make much sense to me. Where's the other churches now? Come on now. Hey, there's a Chick-fil-A. That's important. I know I can filter churches, but I mean, why aren't they just popping up? Come on, Goggle. Work with a guy here. There's the golf course. Mm-hmm. This is just so unusual to me. Okay, there's one. Stone church. Yeah, you're going to put those stained glass windows way the F down there where the ground is just basically butt up against them. Yeah, because that's a great idea. Let's put our nicest leaded stained glass down there. Mm-hmm. It's like maybe it's had some modern facading put on it, but this one looks certainly more legit. You can see it's definitely aged. It's got a lot of discoloration. It's probably been circumcised or decapitated too. You know what I'm saying? It's a Protestant church. It's United, so it's been there a while. They really do have a lot of churches here. And I ain't kidding. They have more. Come on, Goggle. Drop the guy down. There we go. Are we getting a lot of lag? What's going on here? Google's not having fun with the guy today. Well, we looked at this one already, I think. Yep. Or did we? We looked at a photo of it, maybe. Oh, wow. Nice house there, buddy. Got some of this dental molding here, or dog tooth sort of design. Sawtooth. Yeah, sure. Just this is crazy nonsense, man. Gold ball up there, looks like. What do you suppose is going on here? I don't know. This was the old orphanage, I think, this building. And these were some of the outbuildings, I think, maybe, at one point. You see how long that's taken? Oh, come on, man. They're not liking me tonight. There we go. Quit playing. Quit playing now. What is this? What is this? That's impressive, too.
Show me all the blueprints. Very interesting. Oh, Google's hating my guts here. It's really lagging and dragging. Maybe that's a sign. A sign maybe to start wrapping this up here pretty quick. As per usual, when we drop the little guy down, the little goggle man down here, it you could just get lost. Spend hours messing about with this stumpy little obelisk there. Okay. But yeah, if you're interested in this and as baffled as I was, just take a look for yourself. Just poke around here in Parma, Ohio, just outside of Cleveland.
a former orphan community. I mean, they freely admitted it. It's very unusual, very strange indeed. So what did you think of that? Parma, Ohio. I don't know, man. Hit your refresh if you don't mind. I know there's been some lagging. Make sure you're clicked on the live chat in the box in the chat above. There's been something going on with the goggle machine here. But yeah, this again as a reminder, this just came out of the blue at me. It's from me digging around looking at vintage footage, and then the algorithm recommended all these old videos and Parma. Did I say Pharma? That must have been a Freudian slip. Parma, Ohio popped up, but I'd never heard of it. I'm like, what's this? So I watched the video, do a little digging, and I'm like, wait a second. What's with all this orphan narrative? And what's with the refounding the town like 2 or 3 times and renaming it a couple of times? And then part of the town separating from the rest of the town to form Parma Heights because of the temperance movement? Because the one saloon was too rowdy, but then in other articles it said there was multiple saloons. Like the usual, right? The usual shenanigans and chicanery by the score. Yeah, like the whole town. And they just decide to do something different than the Kirkbride, massive orphanage institution type place, right? Instead, it's, we're going to have it as a compound. That doesn't sound much better. But then, we're going to group these boys together into quote unquote families and put them in these quote unquote cottages. Very, very strange. Very, very strange indeed. Yes, lost and found history rewritten, says refounding to confuse us so we'll forget. Yeah. Because you're looking into it, and the town had like 3 names before they finally settled on Parma. And it was, because, hey, the guy thought Parma, Italy was so beautiful. So let's name it after Parma, Italy. And then let's send some orphans there. Wait, what? I don't know. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that guy's been jabbering on for 2.5 hours now already. 7 p.m. on the nose here, local time, mountain time. So I think I'm getting ready to wind this thing down here fairly shortly. As per usual. Links below for everything we've covered. And I'm going to try to leave this. We like to have fun. And I like to leave it off here on a little bit of a positive note.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
So, we like to have fun around here with the show. So I'm going to share some stuff that was shared by by Kathy Childers. She likes to send me some funny stuff. If a guy could figure out what he's doing. Yep. Did you see that? Did you see it? Great. Thanks. I told you is this the second week in a row for me? I know it happened once before. It may have been last week. And I know it's happened to Lucius Aurelian a couple times. But I'm back. Hopefully you can hear me. Everything's okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Syllabus. Anyway, let's get back to what I originally was trying to do here. I think I'm going to have to contact my internet provider and lodge a formal complaint. Send them a harshly worded email. Dear Sir and or Madam, or whatever, or at least give them a call or something.
I was wondering if it's possible for you to pass me from department to department for a couple hours. You can. That's brilliant. And is there any way you could pass on none of my details to the next team so I got to reconfirm them again every time? Thank you. I'm also going to need you to wind me up into a frenzy and then disconnect the call when I raise my voice. Fantastic. All right, let's get started, shall we? Yeah, I'll hold.
Yeah, that's perfect. Of course. Yep. Yep, indeed. Thank you, Kathy. Oh, those are just so good. She sends me tons of those, but there's only a select few that a guy can really share. You know what I'm saying? But yes, thank you very much. I appreciate those. All right, let's do one more. Let's do one more, and then we'll quit screwing around. Let's do one more. Remember a while back, there was the construction, it was the Telegram video of the construction worker watching all of these crazy construction mishaps. And prior to that, it was the brother, the black guy driving in his car, and he's looking around and seeing all kinds of strange people, shall we say. You know, let's kind of keep this. This one is in that vein, but it kind of fits in with the whole orphanage theme, oddly enough, although that was unintended. But anyway, here we go. Yeah. Look out, Turtle! Turtle, look out! Oh, that kid just headbutted that watermelon. He wants that melon badly. Oh, not Mr. Fluffy in the garbage. Don't put Mr. Fluffy in the garbage. What's going on in this house? Oh no. No, stop him. He's gonna throw up. Oh, the screams of terror are blood curdling. Oh, who hasn't seen that before? What the? Oh no, don't put your dolly in the... Don't put your dolly in there, girl. Oh, that's not good, little girl. Playing with some raw eggs? Sure, why not? Oh, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Vaughn says, normal day. Yeah, the poor kitty, Mr. Fluffy, straight into the garbage can. Right into the dustbin. Not good. Not good at all. Yeesh. Come on, those are fun, though. Those are fun. Yeah, you know, you can't beat the kids, man. They're for a good time. They're hilarious. You know, when they're at that age where they're still expanding their horizons and exploring the world around them. You know, they wander into the kitchen. I wonder what's in this cupboard. And they open it up and they grab a tub and they tear the lid off and they think it's vanilla ice cream. So they grab a big wooden spoon and they scoop out a giant mouthful from that tub and stick it in their idiotic mouths. And it turns out that, nope, it was not vanilla ice cream. No, it was lard, cooking lard. That's right. Yeah, that's what a young Frankie did when he was about 2 years old. My mother was down the hall and I somehow got into the kitchen and she said all of a sudden she could hear, yuck, yuck, yuck. Comes running into the kitchen. There it is. So with that, I think that is going to seal the deal here for Frankie. New West Reset Live, episode 90. What's the deal with Parma, Ohio? It was kind of cheesy, but it was kind of interesting, if you'll excuse the intended pun. So as per usual, let me know what you think down below if you're watching this after the fact. Thank you for your support. Thank you to everybody in the box, in the chat. Really appreciate all of you. And again, links below for everything we covered. Wednesday, vintage footage. You got your sneak peek. Friday, boots on the ground. And we'll see you back here next week for more live shenanigans. So until the next one, take care out there, everyone, and have yourselves a good one. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Cheers.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma.